I don't know what happened this week. Something happened this week. Results came out. I don't know if you guys been following. Results came out this week. That's a very bad thing to do. Why do I say that? Because you should know your business. You should know the knowledge about the business. How many houses were sold last month, the month of April? So results did come out. How was the result? Anybody know? What increased 27%? The
prices.
Okay, so what about the sales then? So
I don't know actually.
sales are down 3%, prices are up around 24%, and listings were also an increase also. But I don't want to get into that today, but what I reasonably say that is because that is something that you should know. When you're in this business, specialized knowledge is so important. You should know about your business. You should know where things are so you can have a very intelligent conversation with your clients. But we're going to talk more about that on our Wednesday meeting. Wednesday we have a meeting over here at our Toronto office, which is May the 10th at 9:45. We will have an office meeting, monthly office meeting. I encourage everybody to come out over here. We'll talk more in depth about the numbers, how the market was for the month of April, and some of the changes that has taken place since the announcement, and how the market is behaving for the last, I would say in the last 2 weeks after the rules were announced by the Ontario government. So that's what that is. But today, realistically, we want to talk about the training over here. So I thought this was really important because especially in this business, you want to attract the right people. You want to attract more right people. You want to do business with people that you've already done business in the past. The worst thing that I think a lot of us realtors don't do is we don't go back to our past clients and follow up with the clients. Secondly is we don't ask for referrals from our past clients or clients that we've done business with. We don't ask for these referrals. We don't ask for this. So how do we ask for this referral? I figured is first and foremost is you should give somebody an extraordinary services. If you can go the extra mile. If you can go the extra mile. Ria, if I gave you extraordinary services and you're buying and selling, what are you going to do? You're going to recommend someone to me. Definitely, right? That's how that is. And that's what we want to talk about is what exactly is it I need to do to go that extra mile? What are some of the things, what are some of the trades? You know, Napoleon Hill said something really good. Your mental attitude determines what sort of friends you attract. I'm going to take this to another level and say your mental attitude will determine what kind of customers you will attract. If you have a positive attitude, you're going to attract the right customers. If you have a positive attitude, they are going to defer you to more of those, how those highly recommended, highly motivated clients on that. And that starts off with going the extra miles. So some of the things that I find that the keys to, or more like unlocking the potential within you. We all have so much potential. We have so much opportunity within us, but do we all reach a level? Some of the things that I find is the will to win. The will to win. You have to have the will to win. Anybody follow the Raptors over here? Anybody follow the Raptors? Yes, no, maybe? No? Nobody? Just in the news. Well, that's not good then. I'm going to share something with you. I was watching the Raptors game last week. Actually, last Wednesday it was, and just before the series started and everything, Charles Barkley, who's one of the commentators, Charles Barkley said, I believe the Raptors will win this series. I believe they will win. But I don't think they believe that they can win. Right? He thinks that it's a great team on a piece of paper. The Raptors team, when you write them down, they're a great team. But it doesn't look like they seem to believe in themselves that they can beat LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. And that's when he said, I don't think they have the will. And if you see that, when you see them on the court, and they were showing them the way they were walking onto the court, where the way Cleveland Cavaliers was walking on the court, they were like going to take the game away. And we saw it yesterday, 3 in a row. Will they lose tomorrow? Most probably because they don't have the will. Mentally, they're not prepared to win. Cleveland Cavaliers there. Are you prepared to win is a question. Are you prepared to go there and ask your customer and say, can you refer me to another client? Do you know anybody that wants to buy and sell? Do you want to do this? That's what is the will to win. So Charles Barkley said that, and I'm like thinking, yes, it's so true. And when you see those Raptors team walking onto the court, they didn't mentally believe in themselves. They didn't think they could LeBron and the team. The will to win, the desire to succeed. Have that desire to succeed. It's so important. What do you want? Do you want that golden lady? Do you want that golden lady in February 2018? What do I mean by the golden lady? Ontarian producing realtor, $263,000 and more in commission. Do you have that desire to have that? And the urge to reach your full potential. We have so much potential, but do you have that? And that's what I'm going to ask everyone over here. What is your potential? Because nobody knows that better than you. Nobody knows that than the person who's looking back to you in the mirror. It's you that needs to know that. I want you to really, really think about these 3 things as we go through the training today, as we go through that. Where do you see yourself in the next 120 days? If you want to make changes, it's got to happen in the next 120 days because the market is phenomenal. Not just now, but I believe in the second half. If you did not have a first good quarter, it's never too late. Market is still phenomenal for the month of May, June, July, and so on and so forth, and for the coming years. Toronto is phenomenal, but it's the will to win. It's okay. You had a bad first quarter, a bad month. You're new in the business. It's okay. But do you have that? Do you have the desire to succeed and the urge to reach your full potential? So let's talk about this. What are some of the things that you need to do to go the extra miles? First and foremost is you need to have the habit than you are paid for. Go that extra mile, whatever it takes. Give that extra potential service to your client, whatever it takes. You know, little things that matter. I share a story with you is when I do a deal, I don't tell my client and say, here you go, and go and deliver to your lawyer or anything like that. No, I make sure I take that. Who's your lawyer? My lawyer is XYZ. I go and deliver that to the lawyer and say, this is for your client, so and so. Hand deliver it. Little thing like that. Or email or fax it, make sure that they received all the paperwork. I make sure that I am there for the home inspection. I make sure that I am there to facilitate every little details. That's the extra mile. That's what you need to do. It's not just putting an offer and showing houses. It's the little things that you're going to do afterwards that's going to matter. I even go to with my clients to the lawyer and said, okay, great, closing is this week on Friday. We'll go to the lawyer on Tuesday, make the appointment, and we coordinate that. It's that little thing that you're going to remember me at the same time. Go that extra mile and do the little things that you can do to get things done. Rendering of more and better service than which you are paid for in a PMA. PMA stands for positive mental attitude. Rendering of more better service than which you are paid for in a positive attitude. If I did something to you in a negative attitude, if I came to you in a negative way, will you do business with me? If I came to you because in a negative attitude, even at the lawyer's, just because I had a fight with my spouse or something like that, I got to come to you with a positive attitude. You know, it's like I'm showing you properties to your liking, not to my liking. Right? It should be to my. You want to turn off these lights over here if you can't see? One of the lights over there, the switch. It's one. Okay, it's okay. No, the other one. Turn on the other one. Yeah, there you go. That's better. That's is do anything that you do. You want to do it in a positive mental attitude. Make sure it's always done in a positive attitude and with energy. I believe that positive energy is contagious. Positive energy is not as powerful as the negative energy, because negative energy can be so powerful because it can pull you down. It could keep you down and upset for so many days. But if you have a positive attitude and positive mental attitude, things will be there for you. Another thing is that some of the benefits I found that when you are in a positive mental status, or if you go the extra mile, some of the benefits you get out of it is it eliminates competition. Can you imagine, Ria, if you had so many different sellers with you, and I came to you and said, hey, you do service, I'm going to maybe ask for back, I'm going to ask for your commission, would you want to do business with me? No, right? Because you probably already have so many other clients. So what is it going to do? You're going to eliminate competition. You're going to say, thank you very much, get out of here, I don't need you. Because I got other clients to do business with me, more motivated than you basically are not motivated for me. So if you go that extra mile, you're always going to find positive, motivated, energetic clients that are willing to do business with you. And you also get referrals. Let's go to our things over here. How can we get more leads? First and foremost is, do you ever ask your clients for referrals, Anika?
Yes, I do.
Do you? You've got it. There. So referral is luck. I believe there's no such thing as wish. If you can put in hard work and effort above and beyond, luck will always be on your side. Absolutely. And I believe the best time to ask for referrals is when the offers are done. They're excited. You're done with your office next Monday. What are you going to do? Tell everybody at the lunchroom, we just bought a house over here. We did this. We're excited. It's going to be closing on July 1st, whatever, right? You're going to be excited. That's when you would ask for referrals. That's when you ask the wife also, the husband and wife. You ask the wife because she's all excited. That's when you ask for referrals. Another time I found is ask your family friends, say, hey, do you know anybody at that time that wants to buy also or use my service? And you can see information where there's a lot of tools that we have Century 20 about on Wednesday training, is you can send them notifications, say your brother or your sister or whatever has just bought this particular house, you can send them another postcard on that. You can invite people. There's a lot of other tools. So the best thing is ask for referrals. But when you do that is when you stayed and you're on a positive that with you. One thing to do. We have another tool which we're also going to be talking about in our 21 has. You can ask and you rate. You bought 1, 2, 3. Give me reasons and everything of that nature, and that's what that would. It's a new software that we'll be talking more about that. Only company when this tool invite your buyers and sellers to give you ratings. If somebody gives you a 3-star rating, then that there's an issue. I need to do that. Yep. Problem. There's a problem. How do I fix that so I don't get that other? Absolutely. Well, you'll get a review saying I gave you a 3-star rating. Everybody can see it now that I gave you a horrible service or you gave me a horrible service. And I believe that. You know what? There's nothing wrong with it. I think even if I should know what it is maybe, and maybe from that learning experience. There's two things I understand. It's either you win. Absolutely not. I don't believe you never lose. I believe you win or you learn. You win and you learn. So why do you feel that I didn't give you the capacity to learn? Get back. What is it? I should have done X, Y, Z. Great. I kept and then we get that 5-star because you just taught me something which I did not know. That we should always say that, hey, it should be a learning experience, and that's where referrals come in. Ask for referrals. Ask for referrals. Another way of doing competition is clients who have done business with you in the last 2 to 3 years on investments. Investments. Real estate investments. On stuff. You can eliminate the competition when you ask for investment is there's a lot of great opportunity to invest in real estate. But yet, after I sold you the house 2, 3 years ago, I never followed up with you. You know what I'm saying? I don't even call you and say, hey, but the house got sold on your same street. The reason why I'm asking you to do this, ladies and gentlemen, is because you can take out equity out of the house and say, hey, invest it into a real estate, by pre-construction. Whatever it is, invest it back into the
So a great opportunity to talk to them again, have that same conversation. Hey, keep your house where you are, your primary, take some equity out, and let's invest it back into real estate. It's a great opportunity to go back to your repeat clients, go back to your clients and say, why don't we look at investments? A great way of eliminating competition, right? You're eliminating competition because nobody's going to call those same clients. You are going to call them because you know that they bought it a year, 2 years ago, and they built so much equity on that. Talk about investing, pre-construction, different projects. I'm not going to mention any projects. A great way of eliminating competition over here. Another great way is going the extra mile. This is something that I found really useful is if, let me see if this is the next slide on that. Generate continuous demand for your service. So how do I believe this is something that you can do? In this business, especially for the last 7 to 8 weeks, great way to do is if you just lost last night at an offer presentation. If you lost last night at an offer presentation or a few days ago, whatever it is, well, you know what? Knock on the doors of those neighborhoods and say, hey, your neighbor's house was listed for $499, it's sold for $570, and you know what? I got a motivated buyer to move into your neighborhood. Get out there and generate some continuous leads out of that. Because you already have a buyer that wants to move in on that street or that particular neighborhood. If you can get a listing out of that, and you got a buyer at the same time, guess what? You just generated some continuous demand for your business or your services. Make sense? Yeah. It's so good. Not door knocking. It's so important. Get out there. It's a beautiful weather right now. Everybody knows what a property is listed for. Yet they don't know what it's sold for. Over asking, sold, whatever it is. Why can't you be the person who delivers that good news and say your neighbor's property was sold for this much, and so on and so forth. Generate some continuous demand for your service. So your buyer that you're working with, he or she's going to be happy because you're knocking on doors to find them the house in that particular neighborhood. Not too many people are doing that. And that means going the extra miles. This is going the extra mile. You are going and doing something that other realtors are not doing out there, ladies and gentlemen. It's generating continuous demand for your service. So if you continuously do that, then you know what that buyer is going to say to the next potential buyer or recommend that this guy or gal actually was knocking on doors to find us a property in this particular neighborhood. Call this individual up. He or she will demand do that for you. That's what I believe is powerful. Especially in the market that we are in right now, things are continuously being on multiple offers. Well, why not go out there, knock on doors, or pick up the phone and start calling people? That's what you need to do. So you're going to be always in continuous demand for your service. You're always going to be there. You're always going to be able to say, hey, somebody can get me this going because this individual goes above and beyond the need of call. Creates favorable breaks for you. Well, I just mentioned to you, if you could not get a listing, well, this way you're able to get a listing. Because if I knocked on your door and I said to you, I got a motivated buyer, would you not give me the opportunity and give me the listing? Right? That's what I'm saying over here. Get out there and get that break to yourself so you can double in and generate more favorable demand for yourself. And you'll be in more demand compared to the other people that are waiting for things to come. There's two types of people in this world. There's the passive people, or people that basically go out there and optimistic, that are always going out there and doing things. Are you waiting for things to come to you, or you're getting out there? The phone is not going to ring. You got to make that phone ring. Deals are not going to come to you. You got to make it happen for you. So ask yourself, which one are you going to be? Which are you going to do it? Where are you going to do it? Where are you going to be? Are you going to be a differentiator and make the game changer? Absolutely. Provides compensation from unexpected sources. Well, first and foremost, I like this so well over here, is if you're knocking on doors and you got a motivated buyer, you just got two opportunities. You got a listing and you got a buyer. Second thing is, if you picked up the phone, let's go back over here to the investment side of things. There's a great opportunity where you were unexpected simply because you did not educate your clients about taking equity out and investing back into real estate, you did not let them know about this, well, now all of a sudden, an unexpected source of compensation, an unexpected, pre-construction deal or an investment deal would come out of it. Why? Because you went the extra mile, did the extra stuff to get that deal. You didn't wait for the phone to ring, you made the phone ring. That's what I'm saying here. That is, going back over here, provides compensation from an unexpected sources where you were not expecting, and all of a sudden, because you had that conversation with your client and say, hey, have you considered investing in real estate by doing so and so? And then now you've just opened up an opportunity for yourself. It works. It works, but it starts off with, like Napoleon Hill stated is, your mental attitude determines what sort of friends you have, what clients you have. Well, that's the same way over here. If you can give them the right tools and right information, that's what it is. Second thing that you said was, whatever the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve, well, that's what that is. If you can do so, and if you can educate your client consistently and continually, they will believe in you and say, hey, yeah, I like what you have to say because nobody else is doing it. Sending emails and everything is great. But my coach told me, when you send out emails, there should be a follow-up call. I can get emails from you. But if you don't follow up with me on that, ain't gonna happen. A lot of people like to do that. They like to send out emails, and I'm not against that, don't get me wrong. But I think you need to take it to the next level and say, you send me an email on a pre-construction project, follow up on that email for the next day or two. Talk to your client and say, hey, I sent you an email about so-and-so project. Would you consider, have any questions? Can I give you any information further, so on and so forth? Follow up, and that's when you'll see an unexpected reasoning and unexpected sources of income coming through. It's clear?
Yep.
Works on one's behalf even while one is asleep. I really like this, and I thought I'd put this in over here. Why do you think that works? Any reason? Anything? What do you think, Omar? Works on one's behalf even while one is asleep.
It's your pilot.
Oh yeah? Oh wow.
It's your
Autopilot.
autopilot.
So when you put a listing into the MLS, how many people do you hire working for you? Let me ask you this. So you just uploaded a listing into the MLS yesterday. How many people are working for you?
48,000.
Yeah, all the agents.
48,000. Cha-ching. And while you're sleeping, it's still working, right? Because after that, it's going on to Realtor.ca, all these other websites. Somebody's going to see it and call you and say, I'd like to book an appointment for X, Y, Z listing and anything like that. And maybe you might get a buyer and say, hey, I don't have an agent and I'd like to see this. So I believe this is so powerful in the sense of the listing. Listings are up about 20% last month compared year over year. So that means there's a lot of people out there selling. But you need to get in front of their faces by referrals or by door knocking. So if you got a listing today, there's 48,000 people you just hired that's working for you. Ladies and gentlemen, that is very, very powerful. And it is working while you sleep because you know what? Thank God to the World Wide Web, the internet, it's on 7/24. Your listing is being noticed by everybody. On the MLS, on Realtor.ca, God knows whatever sites. When a listing gets uploaded onto Century 21, then every single agent within Century 21, not just Innovative, Century 21 gets to see your listing. So somebody sitting in Newfoundland is looking at relocating in Whitby, will be able to see yours. So it's not just 48,000, I think it's more than that number, and it's working while you're asleep. And that's really powerful. I believe to be successful in this business is get out there and get listing. Get out there and get listing because you got not just 48,000, you got so many people working for you on your behalf. And it all starts off with knocking on doors. Not only will you be able to find clients, but people will be working for you. You know, something that he said over here, success attracts success, while failure attracts failure because of the law of the harmonious attraction. If you're successful, you're going to be able to get one listing, two listing, and so on and so forth. But if you feel that, hey, I'm not successful in getting listings, and you have that mindset, it's not going to happen. And I'm just asking you to open your mind over here. I just thought about this last couple of days ago. My coach Satish Verma opened up my eyes and told me about this. Works on one's behalf even while one is asleep. You just put something into the system, and you got all these other people working for you, all these other people looking at and listening. And that just attracted my mind. I'm like thinking, wow, this is mind-boggling. We never thought of that. But your listing will sell, especially in this market, in any market, if you can do it consistently, and if you can put up a lot of for sale signs in that particular neighborhood. It's going to be so powerful. People are going to call you and say, hey, Ria, I just saw you just sold this. Hey, Ria, I saw you sold that. I saw you sold this. Can you come to my house and list my property? So on and so forth. That's how powerful going the extra mile is. This is just one of the benefits. And I just thought that, wow, if I can hire 48,000 people working for me, I think that's bigger than Microsoft, I think. Right? You got it bigger than Microsoft, the company, or Apple or something like that. But you've got all these people working for you while you're asleep. I just want to use that analogy, ladies and gentlemen, because when you go that extra mile, these are some of the benefits that we're going to get out of it. And it all started off with knocking on doors. Started off with asking for referrals. It all started off with you picking up the phone and hey, talking to people and asking for business. That's the power of basically this mindset over here. What else? This is so good because it generates economic security and leisure as well, only to those who go the extra mile. You know, I was reading this article and they say the most amount of millionaires, the biggest millionaires were made during the Depression time. Depression time. And you figured, wow, Depression, that was the worst economic times in the history of the United States of America. But yet that's when the most millionaires were made, 1929 to 1932. In that 3-4 years. That's when the Henry Fords, Edisons, Andrew Carnegie, a lot of them, and he talks about that in the book, Think and Grow Rich. So why am I saying this over here? Somebody told me the best thing is the economy doesn't determine my paycheck.
The economy doesn't determine my paycheck, it's my hard work and effort determines my paycheck, right? Good or bad economy, we're still going to be selling over hundreds of thousands of homes in the GTA. Question is, how many do you want? Transaction do you want? 10, 15, 20? That's what that is. So generates economic security and gives you the luxury, ladies and gentlemen. This is the only I for Canada. And you know, going into my boss on January and said, hey, give 10 phenomenal last year and the economy's doing well. Ain't gonna. But in this business, let me ask you this, and I want you to think about this, everyone that's listening to this, is that if you are going to do the same transaction as you did last year, right? So whatever you sold, if you sold a townhouse of $500,000, that same townhouse is worth about $600,000 this year. You're going to take home a bigger commission check, isn't it? Because the price of that house went up. Everything's gone up in 10, 15, 20%. So you should be able to take a bigger paycheck this year by doing the same work that you did last year. So I'm asking you, the economy, you, hard work, that determines how things can go on. Starts off mental attitude, positive mental attitude. Starts off with how do you feel about that? And what are you doing with your clients the extra mile? If you're not going the extra mile, and that's what this is about. I mean, we're talking about lead generating, but I think with lead generating is if you gave poor service, you're not going to get any referrals. Correct? I mean, it's like going to if you bought a car and all, you've constantly had nothing but a difficult time with that car. You're going to recommend that car to anybody else, and you're never going to buy that car again. Right? Investments. Talk to clients, pick up, say, hey, have you considered investing in real estate? And that starts off with what I started my conversation earlier, is that why should I invest in real estate if you do not know your numbers? If you don't know your numbers, then it's very, very poor. And that's what here's that the first week of every month, TREB releases stats for the previous month. So read those numbers, ladies and gentlemen. It's so important. Where's the market? What things are happening out there? It's so important because if you don't know what's happening, I don't know if I want to do business with you. I want to invest with you because you don't seem to know what's going on. Become professional in your business. You know, people need to understand now that people want to do business with people that are professional. Professional, in other words, is be professional in where saying I want to dominate a certain area, the farming area. Know what school, how far is the TTC, the Gold Transit, what's happening over there? What is the market? How much did that house sell for?
What is the average price in that neighborhood? Be that professional. Know your numbers. What are the TREB numbers? What were those 16 points that the Ontario government talked about? Know stuff. That's where people will say, great, I want to give you the business. I want to give you the business. Same thing when you're knocking on doors. It's so important. Just knocking on the doors is not just going out there and doing things, but you need to know what you're talking about. Because if I ask you a question, say, hey, what did that house on the other side sold for? You better know that. What's going on over there? What's that house listed for? Oh, I don't know when to get back to you. No. Know what's happening. This is so important because knowledge is power, absolutely. But you know what? Accumulation of knowledge is not the only important thing, but you need to apply that knowledge. Because that's what I believe, all these points that we talked about. You're going to eliminate competition, generate continuous demand for your services, because when you can sell more homes and you got those for sale signs and sold over asking, you're going to be in demand. Creates a favorable breaks for you, absolutely. Provides compensation from unexpected sources. That was through the investment side of things. Works on your behalf. You're going to want to sleep in. I think we talked about that in continuous on that. And economic security, I believe in any market, you can be successful if you continuously go the extra mile. Let's look at something else. You know, there's either the something new or some old way. More of going into the benefits of going the extra mile. Brings favorable attention. Now think about this. Why does it bring favorable attention? Well, what happened this week is, I don't know if anybody saw, but Omar knows, we got an unexpected phone call from the Toronto Star. If you haven't read this article, I want you to read this article. I got a phone call from the Toronto Star. And this person started asking me questions about a certain project that's taking place on Dawes Street in the city of Toronto. Anyways, she found Century 21, she found me and everything of that nature. Just came out of no business over here, but what I'm saying is, I got founded and Century 21 Innovative got founded because we were splattered all over the internet World Wide Web. There's an article, talks about Sabir Chawla, talks about my name in here and everything of that nature. If you're good, if you understand the system over here, or if you understand Google search engine optimization, it'll come back here. If your name is plastered all over the places, for sale signs all the places, if your name is plastered on the World Wide Web with so many listings sold and sale and everything of that nature, things will come to you. Things will come to you. And that's what it is. This person called me and there's an article about me in there mentioning my name and how we had a good conversation. Just started off with, she found me and everything like that and Century 21 Innovative. I'm just asking them to do the same thing. Get yourself out there. Get yourself known out there. Start with podcasting. Start with blogging. My blog last year, and I've been very procrastination, is my blog was founded by Century 21 head office in Vancouver, and then they blocked and they put it on the what is it called? The Century 21 website and everything. I think it's they can't see this. Omar, I don't know if I can see that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. That's how that is. So go out there and do some blogging, monthly blogging. Monthly blogging, talk about what's happening. Talk about how you get your property ready for the spring market. Start doing some blogging. People will find you. Search engine optimization. Google will find you. Google will splash you all over the places. That's what I'm saying. Favorable attention will come to you. You don't know from where. But you need to do certain things continuously. So lead generating, I talked about was podcasting. Podcasting. Another thing that I've been doing is blog. Do monthly blogging. We talked about this, we talked about it in our Wednesday training also. Consistently recommend that if you continue to do blogging, you will be found on the World Wide Web of Internet. people will find you. People will find you. Talk about what's happening in the market. Talk about how to get your house ready for the spring market. It could be about lawn maintenance, curb appeal, things of that nature. Talk about that. Get your kids ready for back to from the school ending. Things of that nature. Start talking to them. Put some excellent block in. Google will find you, and that's when you will find favorable attention. This is Google finding you. Google will splatter your name out there into millions of people. Doing it once, but people will see you. That's the benefits of going the extra mile. Makes you indispensable in relationships and workplaces. I believe this is so good over here. You know, my coach Satish Verma told me, when people will approach you only if you are likable, right? If you're not likable, people are not going to approach you. That's the same thing in that's relationship, workplace. I'm just going to take it a further step in your clients also. If you're not an approachable person, that client is not going to recommend another client to you, right? So when you go the extra mile and you do the extra things, you're going to attract those like-minded people. You're going to attract those motivated clients, and they want to do business with you. That's what you need to do. Be approachable. Go the extra mile. Do what it takes to get your job done. Because then you're going to see things happen. Make sense? It is the beginning of destruction of habit and attitude that have kept you from higher things. When you go the extra mile, you're going to be in that positive mental attitude. You're always going to get rid of that negativity. And you're going to be always thinking positive. Positive, positive, positive. Because why? Because it's about going the extra mile. It's not just about that commission check. I believe if you can go that extra mile, you can get 2, 3 commission checks from that same client. 2 to 3 additional commission checks. I just sold you a house. How can I get that extra? You're probably thinking, well, you may refer something to me, or you might call me in a few years to sell your house, or you might go into investment. Is that true? So how does that mean? Get rid of that destruction. Get into that positive habit of going that extra mile. And you're going to get additional businesses over time. Now, if you always think about that, not just one commission check, if you think about other commission check, what are you going to do? You're going to give them positive services. You're going to give them extra services, whatever it takes. Would you want me to be at the lawyer's office? Yeah, no problem. You know what I mean? I'll chat about it. Put my other office, my other appointments, and go that extra mile. Okay? I'm going to remember that. You're going to remember that. That realtor came to the lawyer's office, walked us through, even though it was a lawyer's job to do that, but walked it through. I do that with my clients. Do that with my clients. You know, whatever it is, if my client's closing has happened, I go there. And I make sure, even days before, leading up to closing, hey, did you get all the paperwork or not, Mr. and Mrs. Lawyer? Is things happening? Not just pray and that's it. No. Absolutely not. Make sure things are there. That's why the lawyers love me also, because they feel that I stay on top of things and not just them. Because it is your job at the end of the day. It's like everybody saw, was the Olympics last summer or the year before that? Last summer, right? I think it was last summer. Rio, right? 2016, because 2020 is the next one. So if you look at the relay race, right? I gave you the baton, you give it to the next person, but then you two did not do the right job. We just lost. So I got to make sure everything is in step. And I think there was one race where the Americans got defaulted because they stepped on the line. They stepped on the line. That's what will happen to you. If you don't do the right thing and the right stuff does not happen in the right manner, that deal ain't gonna close. Gone. Destruction. You know? So if you do it the right way, if you manage everything, I believe you go the extra mile and you do things, things will happen. Extra commission will come out, extra clients will come out, you don't have to chase, they will chase you. But that all starts off with referrals, investment, knocking on doors. Start with some podcasting if you can. People will find you, because I believe that goes back to brings favorable attention. Google, the World Wide Web, whatever it is so important. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. So you got a question?
No.
Oh,
I'm just asking about when you're saying that going to the lawyer office with the client.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of time, the mortgage specialist or those people who are ahead of time to, see the paperwork.
No,
And
mortgage,
the lawyer got
the mortgage is already
paperwork
done,
and-
mortgage was done, we give you a 5-day condition, so mortgage
Yeah.
is already done. So you need to make sure the instruction
Instructions.
is already there. So if you're closing on Friday, let's just take this as an example. If you're closing this week on Friday coming up, your buyer will go see the lawyer probably on Wednesday, latest by Thursday. So you want to make sure that all the instruction, so they go see the lawyer on Wednesday so that the instructions are there and you meet them on Wednesday. If the instructions are not there, make sure on Thursday. They go see them, sign the paperwork. And on Friday is the closing. So you want to make sure that all the things go due. Hey, did the funds come through? Did the funds get transferred? Same thing, I forgot one more thing now. Let's say closing is this Friday. You're going to do a walk in that property just a day or so before you're going to go see them. So if you're going to go see a lawyer on Wednesday, go a walk through on Tuesday. The final walkthrough that, hey, everything is correct. There's no hole in the wall. It was stainless steel, and it is stainless steel appliances again right now. It's not those white steel appliances, or it's not whatever. So you want to make sure you walk through. A lot of agents don't even do that. They put that down as a clause, but they don't even do that. Now, you know what? Client gets the key on Friday, everything is already done. Then they walk in and say, oh my God, this is horrible. There's holes over here, there's this over here. Guess what? You didn't do your job, realtor. Right?
So, if you walk through and you find anything like being changed or there's a damage, so what action you will take?
I'll tell my lawyer to hold back funds.
Oh,
If you, the seller, ain't gonna get your money on time,
yeah.
why? Because me not giving you the money, right?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you, well, you better go and repair it. And that lawyer is gonna handle that thing. Now you don't have to do anything.
Yeah, that's
You
what-
tell the lawyer that.
The lawyer
But your
wants to do it.
client is gonna appreciate you.
Okay,
If you did not walk through, what's gonna happen? Destruction on Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Because you did not do your job.
so you notify the lawyer will take that
course.
action for that.
Lawyer will notify the other lawyer and say, hey, you know what, they were stainless steels. They're washer and dryer, there's a missing washer and dryer. What's going on over here, buddy? Put the washer and dryer. If not, I'm taking off $3,000 or $4,000, whatever it is, minus the price. Let the lawyers handle it, but you are involved in the middle of it.
Yeah,
Your buyer is gonna appreciate you for that $2,000 to $3,000.
yeah, you're making sure that the client
Of
is
course.
getting what you promised for. Yeah.
Absolutely. But you said that, you put that down. Why are you not taking that extra step in?
Okay.
Right? That's what that is. Being that attitude, having that positive attitude. This is really good. I just found this quote over here. Confidence and hard work is the best medicine to kill the disease called failure. It will make you a successful person. Isn't it very true? Be confident. Get out there, do things. Do things that will make you confident. Leads to development of positive, pleasing attitude and personality. So if you got generous of amount of leads coming in, if you're always doing things, you're going to be in a positive attitude and mental state. You're always going to attract positive people, motivated people, not the negative people that are basically this tire kickers, right? That's what's going to happen. Your personality, and that's what that is. I believe life is basically also in a positive way. It's not just the goods we want to have in life, but when we have good things coming in, if you have a consistently paycheck coming in, it's great for your personal life, great for relationship, family, whatever it is. Everything we talk about in this training over here on an ongoing basis, it's not just about business, it's about going back to relationship, right? With your family, husband, wife, kids. Now, if you don't have consistent money coming in, your relationship with the wife and husband is going to be horrible. With the kids is going to be there. This is what that is. It's that positive attitude you're going to be. You're always going to be pumped. You're always going to be happy. You're always going to be out there doing things. I believe this is so important. At least to develop a positive, pleasing attitude and a personality. Gives you greater confidence in yourself and puts you in a better position than your own conscience. Why? Because I believe you need to be confident. Everything you do, you got to be confident out there to get out there and do it. If you're not confident in yourself, it ain't going to happen. If you're not confident in yourself, and you look at yourself and, hey, I can't do this, start off my analogy about the Toronto Raptors in the earlier, they don't feel that they're confident to beat these guys. Maybe they might win one game, but by game 7, they're going to be done because mentally, they just don't feel that I have the confidence to go up and do it. If you can consistently look at yourself in the mirror every single day in the morning and say that you're going to be a Centurion producing realtor for the year 2017, it can happen. that starts off with a greater confidence in yourself. You have to ask that self. We have so many people that are centering producing realtor, and that's what I'm asking you to do the same thing, is go out there and do it. Is there any questions over
Yeah,
there?
we've got 3.
Yeah, yeah.
Just wrote them down here. So people talk about nurturing your leads. What does that mean? Can you elaborate?
Nurturing your leads. So in other words, prioritizing them and making sure the buyer or seller is motivated. That's first and foremost. So let's take it with the seller. Now if I come and meet you and I do my entire CMA with you, right, at your house, but you're just not motivated. Or you're asking for an exuberant price on your property, which realistically doesn't make sense. You're asking for something that, hey, I want 800,000 when things are being selling for 700 in your neighborhood. You're out to lunch over here. I don't know, I can do everything till the cows come home. I may not be able to sell your house. So I'm going to try to nurture and say, hey, forget about this and focus on something else. Let's go back to a buyer over here. So are you a real motivated buyer? Are you not just a motivated buyer, let me take it back, sorry. Are you approved to purchase? Are you approved to buy real estate? So you do want to buy something, let's first start off and get you approved. And if the bank tells me stay away from Omer, because you know what, Omer doesn't have any money, Omer is not even approved, Omer cannot even afford a $500,000 mortgage. I need to nurture that and say, put that back and move on to something else. So nurture your leads. You're going to get lots of leads. Nurture them. Work them through. Make sure that they are real. Because otherwise, if you continuously spin your wheel, Omer, you're not going to make things happen. Makes sense? I only got 365 days of that days. I need to take holidays also. I only got 24 hours, 7 days a week. I need to make sure I take care of myself, my family, whatever. But if I'm spending time with somebody that doesn't want to buy and sell or is not realistic, I need to move on. Somebody came up to me and said, hey, I'd like to buy a $400,000 home in the city of Toronto. Would you take that lead? Anybody wants that lead?
The time machine is developed, then probably we'll go back in time.
Yeah, I gotta go back to the future. I gotta call Michael J. Fox for that, you know what I'm saying? What am I gonna do with that? Thank you very much. Move on. Come on, folks, we understand that. I don't know what this person is smoking, or if he or she has not really been reading the newspaper. Ain't gonna happen. Move on. Go ahead.
The next one. How many leads do I need to convert to clients? What is the leads to clients ratio?
That's a tough call. There's really nothing on that. I believe personally, I like to see myself as I work with a number. I'm a numbers person. So if you said that I want to make 300,000 or 250,000, work yourself backwards on that. So that means you got to do about 20. So now if you want a transaction, what my coach once told me, 1 in 4 works out. So if you find 4 leads, 3 may not work, but the 4th one will work. 1 in 4. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Great. Number 4 right here. So 1 in 4. So in other words, if I want to do 20 transactions, I need to have 80 leads. 80 leads. 1 in 4. 80 leads to get me to 20 transactions to get me to a golden lady of approximately 250,000. Make sense? So it starts with your number. What is your goal? Your goal meaning your what's a dollar? Sorry, what's a dollar value you want to do? Let's work back on that and say how many transactions. Approximately 10 to 12,000 is per transaction, and then how many transactions is that? And then take 1 to 4. That's what I would do. And that would mean now let's take it one step further. So if you have to do 20 transactions, you're going to say, hey, I'm going to have 12 buyers and approximately 8 listing. 20? That's what you want to do also, because you want to break down the ratio of listing and buying, listing, depending where you are. So all it starts off with, first and foremost, is sit down what your goal is. What's the dollar you want to do? And then work towards that from there on. Correct?
Got it.
Yeah?
Last one. How can we harness the power of social media and attract more leads?
Consistency, consistency, and consistency. That's all I'm going to say on this. If you're not going to do consistent podcasting, no one's going to find you. If you're not going to do consistent blogging on a month-to-month basis, people will see you as a fly-by-night type of thing. Right? People will see you. So you got to consistently blog on the internet. People will find you. You got a monthly, we have a realtor, and I'm going to mention his name, Ahsan Raza. He just started podcasting about 3 months ago. And if you're interested in podcasting, I have a good friend, Gordon So, who's one of my friends and mentor. He can help you also teach you on podcasting. But it's got to be consistency. It's got to be consistency. If I come in your inbox every month with a report, you're probably going to look and say, hey, wow, now I'm getting this news report for him. You're not just a realtor, but you're keeping me updated with what's happening out there in the market on a monthly basis. But at the same time, you should do a monthly podcasting. Put up a podcast. Have this individual, Gordon So, he can help you with that. And put a blog together. Talk about what's happening in the market. Put in your own words. Or it's a great opportunity right now and see what do you need to do to get your house started or put it into the market. In other words, spring market, cleaning up and everything, right? Don't you clean up your house? Absolutely, gardening and whatnot. Talk about that. Put it in a podcast. In the blogging and start doing that. So social media, I would say, is doing it consistently and doing it on an ongoing basis, and that will get you going. But you need to be in people's faces on a regular basis, because otherwise Google's not going to find you. Make sense? Right? That's what we need to do. And if you want, we've talked about this in a number of our training, is that you can also get some great videos put together for very low cost. We know there's a company that can help you with that. And that's another thing that you can do is putting videos together, promoting yourself out there on a very low cost budget. So anyways, this will give you some confidence, help you build the confidence in yourself and put you in a better, and then you'll be much more cautious on that. What else? Helps you overcome the destructive habit of procrastination. Absolutely. If you can see you got calls coming in and you got your for sale, you got your sold and whatnot happening, the law of procrastination on a day like today, you're still going to wake up. Rain, shine, minus 15, 20, 30, 40, whatever it is, you're still going to get out there and do whatever it takes. Procrastination will not be there. When you're going that extra mile and you feel good. That's why confidence and hard work is the best medicine to kill the disease called failure. So important. Get out there and do it. Just do it, whatever it takes. Develops the principle of freedom on your own terms. Is it true? If I feel that you're not giving me on your terms, I don't want to do business with you. Right? Because when you have so much business already coming in, thank you very much. Move on. There's somebody already waiting in line for me. That's what it is. But you need to build that. Build that confidence right now. Go the extra mile. And build the pipeline. And that can happen with a number of things that we talked about over here. And first and foremost, and the last thing I will talk about is faith. You need to have faith in yourself. And faith here means having confidence. Confidence in yourself, trust, and an absolute unwavering belief that you can do something. You know, a lot of people are afraid to knock on doors and talking to strangers and everything. Well, you need to have faith in yourself and confidence that you can get out there and do it. And that you're going to generate leads. 1 in 4, if you have that mental attitude and say, hey, I need to get 80 leads to do 20 transactions. And if you know that, to get to the golden lady, that's your definite major purpose in life. Right? You need to have a definite major purpose. DMP, definite major purpose in life. If you don't know what your DMP is, your fire is going to be weak. Napoleon Hill stated that if your DMP is weak, the fire under you is going to be very weak. But if you have that very high-end fire, it's going to be that white, hot, burning fire. It's going to be on fire. Your DMP is going to be solid. You're going to be out there going and doing it. That's how you're going to do it. You're going to have that confidence and abundance coming to you. Faith is being aware of what you hope for and certain of what we cannot see. Getting out there and doing it. You can hope for it and say, hey, I'm going to get that. But something that you cannot see, meaning that you cannot see those leads, but you know that if you put in that effort, action, and whatever it takes, you're going to get that. You're going to get those 20 transactions done from January to December 31st. So that way, come February, you're going to be holding that golden lady at the Century 21 event of course. That's what that is. So anyways, with that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to share something with you, is our event. Actually, something else I want to share. See, this is something he said, Napoleon said, living without a definite major purposes promises nothing but a scant living. Scant living in this sentence means a regular day-to-day living. Actually, Zig Ziglar said it so well, is that there's like 98% of people which are wandering generality, more like 95% are wandering generality, and the other 5% are really basically have meaningful things to be done. Why do they have meaningful things? It's because they have a definite major purpose in life, and they know what they want in life. You know, we always talk about that 5% of the population of the world owns 95% of the wealth, right? And the other 95% owns the other 5%. Why? Because those 5% have a definite major purpose. They understand what they want in life. They know how to get it. They know what things are happening. That's what that is. The other 95 is just general, wandering out there. So I'm asking you, where do you see yourself? And if you see yourself in the 95, it's okay. How do I get to the other side? That's what's important. That's the same thing in this business over here. There's 95% of realtors that are doing 5%, 5% of the realtors that are doing 95% of the business, and the other 95 are scamping for the other 5% of the businesses. It's very true. Of that 48,000 realtors, how do you become that 5% realtors, 7% realtors? It may not happen overnight. Maybe it's 120 days from now. It could be by the first quarter of next year, but you have to take that decision today, and you guys got to talk to yourself and say, what is it? And that's why we have this seminar in full length on May 15th. You know, we'll talk about it. That's our coach over here, Satish Verma. Ria knows him. Ria has met him a number of times. Don Green, who's the executive director of Napoleon Hill Foundation in the U.S., will also be there. So it's $99 on Monday, May 15th, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can go online and register. I have the link and everything. We'll post a link. But it's certainly really good. It's called Climbing the Ladder of Success. Napoleon Hill, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. It's a full day seminar where outsiders are coming in and teaching us into more full details on the Think and Grow Rich formula, the principles of Think and Grow Rich. Phenomenal in the sense that you will meet with great like-minded people, attract the right people, but at the same time you got to go out there and do things, take action. If you don't take action, nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. So I certainly encourage you to come out, look at this great event, and we'll talk more in details. And thank you again. As I say, Napoleon Hill said, if you truly desire money so keenly that your desire is an obsession, you will have no difficulty in convincing yourself that you will acquire it. That's the most important thing. You got to convince yourself. What is it you want to do? Where do you see yourself in 120 days from today? Where do you see yourself next quarter? Where do you see yourself next year? Maybe not this year, but the following year. Do I hold the golden lady? That's what you need to do, ladies and gentlemen. So it's not just about the money, but you need to develop that personality and trait and get out there and do it. Any other thing, any questions I can answer before we wrap up? Anything else? So we have a number of things happening this week. This Wednesday is a training our meeting, Wednesday meeting, monthly meeting. So it'll be at 9:45, Toronto office. Certainly encourage you to come. We will have a CMHC talking about what's happening in the market, what things are happening. Just Toronto office, 9:45. So generally lasts about 2 hours, 2 and a bit. Really encourage you in the sense that you'll be able to meet and network with all the other realtors. And CMHC comes in and gives us an update on the status of the market, what is happening. So those who are watching us, certainly encourage you to come out there also on Wednesday, May 10th. And then following week is May 15th. If you haven't registered for the Heart and Stroke Foundation, we also encourage you to help us raise awareness and also funds for the Heart and Stroke Foundation, which is on May the 25th of October, because we're all want to support that thing. That's basically it. That is it, everybody. Wrap it up, and thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.